What's up? Welcome to the channel, or should I say to 540 of you, as I'm seeing on my YouTube analytics here. Welcome back to those 540 people. I'm glad that you are continuing to watch us. If you do like what you're seeing on this channel, please subscribe, because it really helps out the channel tremendously to have you guys subscribe and stuff like that. And if you're already coming back to watch more, then you'll just get alerted whenever we upload a new video and stuff like that. You'll be the first to know. So yeah, please drop a subscription. That would be super helpful. But before we get into what these are, I want to give you an update on the pursuit and where everything's going with that. We had to sort of pivot on what we were thinking we were going to do with the fuel tank. Me and Bert sanded everything down, started going over the finish of the tank, and we thought we were going to be able to save it. Unfortunately, we found that there was way too much pitting down at the bottom to be able to save the tank. And if we were going to try to seal it and patch it and put it back in, it would not be safe. It eventually would leak and stuff like that. And that's horribly unsafe and terrible for the waterway, the environment, and all that kind of stuff. So we made the call to just abandon that tank, and we're gonna have another tank made. So we'll take you through the process of making that tank, not today though, but that is coming soon. Again, subscribe for that. But we have a plan. We have a tank manufacturer that we've already talked to. They're on board. And so we are going to go ahead and go through the whole process of putting a tank together, making a tank, and prepping it to be reinstalled back on the boat. So that'll be pretty fun, very cool. Today, while we're waiting, I wanted to do a video about, some kit and stuff like that I found very helpful and useful that I did not know about. I actually saw another video here on YouTube where Adam Savage was talking about one of these. These are safety cans. They're made by the brand Just Right. They make gas cans and other things. These are solvent dispenser cans, and they come in a few different orientations. The one I saw on Adam Savage was exactly this one, which he used for acetone. I also use it for acetone. It's instead of dunking a whole can here, hang on. Acetone or alcohol or anything like that will usually come in cans like this size or even larger. Depending upon how much you're using, this may be fine. But we go through a lot of solvent here. So rather than refilling these, using these over and over again, we get the 5-gallon jugs and refill them is a little bit more cost effective for us. And if you're going through material like this, then it'll probably be more cost effective for you too. Usually with these, you'll dunk them out, wet a rag, wipe it down, leave this open and stuff like that. And for ease and use, I seldom, and I don't know if anyone else out there does the same thing, I seldom put the lid back on until I'm actually done doing the project, because I want it there, accessible with one hand, I'm working with the other hand, and stuff like that. That can be bad if you are like me and clumsy and spill solvent and stuff like that everywhere, which I do. Drip solvent all over the place, which I also do, which may get on wood finishes that you don't want it to get on. You can see on this mat, I've gotten it on places on this mat where it's wiped away a lot of this like kind of checkered finish and stuff like that. That's from acetone and me working on things. I'm pretty messy with this stuff, and that's the reason why people use these plunger cans. The plunger cans, you press down, this one's empty. You depress it, and it, through this little spout here, will fill up the exact right amount to wet your rag, and then any of that leftover stuff, it catches here in this bowl or here in this lower bowl, and it sends it back down into the reservoir to be used again, whenever you depress here. We'll do it on this one. This one's filled with denatured alcohol. Do a slow press, wet rag, good to go. You wipe and you see it spilled out a little bit right there, and that will either evaporate on here, or if there's enough to where like an actual amount, it would get over to this lip and drain back in here. Most of it comes up, I'll do it slowly. It comes up, let me try one more time. You see that? So the liquid comes up and then it drains back down as you depress it. So it gets exactly the right amount onto the rag, and then you can wipe down whatever you're doing. And this is a lot harder to spill than one of these. It's not impossible to spill though, because these cans, specifically the plunger style cans, are not actually sealed when you depress them. You could pour them out and they would empty. So if you're thinking, I want to put some stuff in here and just leave it in there, like I do, know that it will off gas. Even still, and it will eventually all evaporate out of there. Slowly, but it will. Just Right recommends that you empty these every time you use them, that you're only using them for whatever project you're doing, which I recommend as well. However, I don't do that because I use it so often. So I just leave stuff in it. But maybe you shouldn't. They recommend you shouldn't. So I recommend you shouldn't, but I do. Now, this is a different style of can. This is the one I saw on Adam Savage's show that he uses for a lot of his model making stuff. And I thought I wasn't really going to want to use this one because it's so small, but I actually use this one more than I use anything else because it's much more controlled. If I only want a small amount of acetone, which is what I have in this one, anywhere, what I will do is, oh, look at that. See, I spilled some. It's not 100% watertight. But this one is much more sealed than the other ones. There's a little ball bearing in there that seals it. And I think that was some acetone that had got caught in the lip when I did another take. And you can see it's wiping off a lot of this. I don't know if you can see it over there, but it's wiping off a lot of this white stuff here. So what you do with this one is you turn it upside down and then you depress it, and that'll let out the acetone in little short bursts. Sort of like a hamster drink type thing. You've seen those like bottles on the side of a hamster cage. It's kind of the same idea with this type of thing, but you can depress it into wherever you're going or something like that, and it only lets out a small little amount. So if you're working in a tricky area, let's say you're working around teak, or you're working around rubber and stuff like that you don't want to get mineral spirits on, or you don't want to get acetone on, or whatever solvent it is that you're using, even like adhesive remover or anything like that. If you don't want to get that everywhere and you want to be very controlled about where you're putting that, this is a cool option for dispensing just the right amount of liquid onto either a cloth or directly onto the project that you're working on. So, all that to say, these Just Right cans, I didn't know about them before I saw it in a video on YouTube, and I've been around tools and boating and stuff like that my whole life. So this video is kind of for anyone who maybe doesn't know that these kinds of things exist. They do. They're awesome, and you can find them almost anywhere. This one I got from Fiberglass Coatings. They sell a lot of the larger sized ones, for more like industrial stuff. So they've got a lot of the large size ones. This one I got on Amazon. This one I got on eBay. You can find them anywhere. They are not cheap. This little one, brand new on Amazon, I think was 40, 50 bucks. I got it for like 20 bucks on eBay. This one, like 60 bucks on Amazon. This one is, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of, wait, I might still have the price tag on it, $63 at Fiberglass Coatings, which actually that is a pretty, compared to like the size, because this is a full quart, this is what is this, a pint? That's a pretty decent deal for the size of one that you get for this over that. It's roughly the same cost. So it's a pretty good deal. Maybe pick up the larger one because I'd rather have a larger one than one that's too small. But anyway, that's all for this episode. Just going over these cool tools that I like, that I did not know existed. And now, if you didn't know they existed, now you do. That's about it for this one. Next week we'll be, back on the boat doing some more stuff. But we just had sort of an intermission, and I wanted to do a cool video about some cool kit that I have in my garage, and I think that everyone should have in theirs. So, at least one of them. So, I'll leave the links below and stuff like that for where you can find these things at a few different places. And yeah, I mean, if you want to go check them out, go ahead and check them out. They're not like sponsored links or anything like that. It's just normal links. If you have any tools of your own that you think are, known, but they're a little weird or very specialty. I love specific specialty tools like this, that are kind of like one purpose for a very specific need, but it's a thing that I didn't realize until I saw it, and then I was like, I gotta have one. If you have anything like that in your shop that you use, I would love to know what that is. So please leave a comment below of what that is, and maybe I'll make a video on it if I haven't heard about it before or anything like that, and it sounds pretty cool. I'd love to, you know, check it out, review it, and see how it works. So let me know what you use in your process that's sort of an indispensable tool for you, and that's sort of, you know, outside of the norm of tools. And I'd love to take a look at that. If you liked this video, please, you know, like it. Please subscribe. Come back and watch some other videos that we have, more about like on the boat and stuff like that. And yeah, we'll see you next week. But until then, have a great week. You know, I guess, yeah, we'll see you next week.